Hi everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Sunday, July 23rd. Yeah, July 23rd. I'm Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a bit to show you today that I'm excited about. It's been about 8 weeks since my last video. I have projects that I've worked on, including Mania starts. I have haul. I guess that's it. Oh, I have finishes. That's exciting. That doesn't happen all that much. We're in a different venue today. This is my guest bedroom, which will ultimately become where I store all my stitching and crafting stuff instead of on my dining room table where it's been for months. So I got some new furniture, some IKEA furniture. I've got an IKEA desk with some file cabinets and things to store little notions and odds and ends. And of course, I haven't really organized much of it yet, but that will come later. So this will probably, I'm guessing, where I do my videos from now on. I'm going to apologize because you can hear my dogs fighting in the background. You can see them over my shoulder here sometimes popping up. There they go. They're fine. They just love each other, right? That's how dogs play. So, quick update in my life. So, it's been about 8 weeks. I have been pretty busy. I've been stitching a lot, which I enjoy, probably at the cost of other things that I should be doing, like cleaning my house or vacuuming or stuff like that. So I've been pretty busy still with work, busy with my residency course that I'm doing that takes up a lot of extra time, studying, all that kind of stuff. I had some visitors. My sister, my brother-in-law, my two nieces came in May around Memorial Day weekend. They came and checked out Chicago, and that was fun. We went into the city and spent time with my cousin and his daughters. So it was like the first meeting of the next generation of cousins, which was real cute and fun. We, we did Navy Pier, or no, we didn't do Navy Pier because I hate Navy Pier. It's, no offense, it's super touristy. Like, there's no point in going to it if you come to Chicago, personally. Except for fireworks, I guess. We did the Field Museum. We did Maggie Daly Park, which is a zoo, and God help you if you take your children there, make sure they are wearing neon, because essentially all I saw as I was sitting there with the strollers, I saw kids bolt in one direction and then the parents chasing after them desperately. It's crazy. We did Lincoln Park Zoo, which is awesome. It's a free zoo, pretty well done. It's not as big as the other zoo that's outside of the city, but it's free. You can't beat that. And it's nice. It's got nice animals. And we just kind of hung around my town, Naperville. We went to our children's museum out here, walked along our river walk. We just had a good time. Couple days. They drove out here, so it was a long drive, but I get to go back there to see them in Connecticut in about 2 weeks, which I'm super pumped about. And this year, I know I didn't do this last year, but I'm going to try really hard to maybe like do some vlog footage while I'm there, so that I can piece it together and kind of show you a little bit Connecticut and the shore and the beach house and all that kind of stuff. So I make no promises though, because I get self-conscious in front of my family doing this kind of stuff. But aside from that, then in June I went up to Wisconsin. I went to a country music festival that I go to every year. Went camping. We camp at it, and then it's just like 3 days of concerts, which are awesome. So I have Blake Shelton, Eric Church, Alabama, Chris Young, and it was just eating, drinking. It's a blast. So that's what we did there. So that's catch up in my life. I think it's time to get into stitching, shall we? So we'll start with my finishes. So 2 finishes I had to start because I was feeling the itch that I was starting to panic because I'm like, I've got a lot of stuff going on and I need to have finishes or make progress on something. Sorry, my hair. It's so hot and humid here, guys. Like, I'm sweating so bad right now. It's gross. You can't even go outside. It's been terrible for like a week, 2 weeks. It's awful. Ugh, I hate July. I hate this weather. But anyhow, back to what I was saying. I got the itch that I needed to finish something and make some progress on things and cross things instead of just adding stuff to my cross stitch app list of started projects. I needed to move some into the finished category. So with that being said, I had almost completed 2 Mill Hill ornaments, so I finished those. So the first one I finished is one of the Charming Jewels. I think this is Peridot. I'm not sure. I think it is. It might be, I think it's Peridot, I'm pretty sure. If not, you can find, if you look on 123 Stitch or Google it, they have all the names. But I'm pretty sure that this is Peridot. You can see all the beads in there, which is nice. And then I also finished one of their little woolly mittens, which was a little bit of a challenge because it was kind of a different way to finish. You have to do some kind of like herringbone stitches, and then on the back of the paper, and then you fold it over and it makes it look like a cuff, and then you have to whip stitch it. And I mean, it's not perfect, it's not beautiful, but the more I look at it now, the better I like it now compared to when I initially did it. Why are you whining? There's nothing to whine about. Nothing to whine about. Okay, so the one I did was the reindeer. So those were two cute little finishes that I got through real fast, and I got to cross them off my list of in-progress projects, which, that's a weird way to put it. I got to cross it off my list of WIPs. So then I was like, okay, let's keep this train rolling. Let's keep doing some stuff. And I looked at my list and I was like, number one, what I've not worked on in a while, and number two, what's something quick that there's a good chance that I can finish. And so with that being said, I pulled out the Nutty Parade. It's by Turquoise Graphics and Designs. Let me show you what it looks like. I'll take it out so you don't have the glare. I should have been more prepared and taken all this stuff out ahead of time, but you get what you get, people. So that's the Nutty Parade. So I did this on just, I think, a plain like mushroom Lugana. I did it 28 count because that's what it's called for. This, in theory, this was my first time stitching. This was the first project I ever did that was on a linen or an even weave. So I started it, I think I started it in March or April of last year, possibly. I don't exactly remember when. I don't have my phone up here, which has like all that information in, so sorry, terrible Flosstube alert. Anyhow, this was going to be a gift for my sisters. Not only was it my first time working on linen or even weave, obviously ever since then that's pretty much primarily all I work on. I don't really work on anything else. It was my first time using whisper thread, and technically outside of Mill Hills it was my first time beading on fabric. So with that being said, I finished it. And there it is, the Nutty Parade. I'll pull it in closer. So you've got that first guy there. I think he may be my favorite. Or I like the second guy. Actually, I like pieces about all of them. I love the guy in the middle's hat. That was my favorite part of him. I like the colors on the fourth guy with that big afro, and he's the shortest of them. And then I really like the hat on the last one too. And I kind of like how he's got that like sash across his chest. But yeah. So Nutty Parade. This, I mean, these actually stitch up pretty fast. Like I could stitch one of the nutcrackers in a day if I just sat and stitched. But be warned, if you are going to do this project, there is a deceptive number of colors used in this project. So in the nutcrackers alone, there's almost not one single color that repeats outside of the black. And the skin color, there's barely any repeating colors in the nutcrackers. Every shade of gold is a slightly different shade of gold. Every shade of blue is a slightly different shade of blue. Same with the maroons and the greens. It's a lot of colors. So just be prepared for that. But I really like how it came out. I really like how it came out. I think my sister's going to like it. Like I said, she collects nutcrackers. She has for years, ever since she was a little, younger. It's a little, obviously, like I am learning that I am a tight stitcher, so it's a little wrinkly, but once I think it's stretched and framed properly, all those wrinkles will come out and it'll look good. And it might even look good with like a little, just some soft batting behind it. I'm thinking that I might take this to my LNS that I go to and have them frame it, and that's going to be the first time I've used them for framing, because I don't have many projects that are done or that have been framed. But what's nice is, and I know this for a fact, I know that the woman who does their framing, she laces everything instead of pins it. So kind of a fancy way to finish, but I think that looks nice. So now the goal is to just keep the dogs off of it and keep it as wrinkle-free as possible so it lays nice and flat, because I use Nymo thread for the beading, and if you use an iron on that, it's going to melt and then all the beads will come off. Which, FYI, I really like the Nymo I really like the Nymo thread for beading. These beads, I mean, they are secure. I did have all of them. It called for a half cross stitch. I prefer the look of a full cross stitch for the most part. I like when they're kind of going up and down, especially the way things kind of lined up here versus the diagonal bead. And I mean, these guys, they are on there solid. And the beading went quick. It only took me a couple hours. But yeah. So that is the Nutty Parade. So 3 finishes, not bad. I knocked 3 finishes off. I only ended up starting 3 things in Mania, so I'm kind of even Stevens again, which is nice. And so now let's pull out the whips that I have been working on recently. Okay. Let's start. I'm going to start with the one I started first in Mania. Oh good, it's off the Q-snap. Okay. So I started the Lizzie Kate Flip It series. So there's 6 of them. They have little buttons. This is what it looks like when it's all in one piece, which is how I'm doing it. Plant a tree, ride a bike, be kind to animals, keep our air clean, eat locally, and save water. Really, don't even try to chew that. Do you guys have dogs that just will eat paper? Like, it doesn't, they're so non-discriminative about it. They will eat any sort of paper. Paper towel, magazine, mail, cross-stitch patterns, toilet paper rolls, any type of paper, tissue paper from a Sephora bag. It's like a moth to a flame. My dogs grab it and they shred it within like 30 seconds. I don't even know how they do it that fast. I don't even know. Anyhow, that's a tangent. So this is being done. Oh, it's super wrinkly, guys, so please ignore that. It's being done on 32 count vintage country mocha. It's my first vintage country mocha project. I really like it. Initially, I was going to use the non-stamped side, so there wasn't modeling, and then it was a little bit more of a solid finish. But when I decided to start it, I looked at it, I'm like, I liked the stamp side, let's just go with that. And I'm doing this in the called for threads. They're mostly weak dye works with a couple of classic, like one classic colorworks and a few gentle arts, like maybe 1 or 2. And so I got the first 2 so I started in the middle. I started with the Keep Our Air Clean block, which is, because I like to start like in the middle and then work to the right and then go to the left. Oh, don't mind my bruise. This is awful. Like, see it? I gave blood. I tried to be a good person last Saturday and donate blood, and that's what happened as a result. Happens all the time. I'm like, I don't know. It usually happens like every time I give blood. I'm a hard stick. That's what they tell me. My veins are narrow and they're deep in me, which I guess is probably a good place to have your veins. Okay, so I finished the first 2 blocks. Eat locally and keep our air clean and eat locally. These go really quick. Again, maybe 2 days max to stitch. And like by 2 days, I mean like just a couple hours each day to stitch the blocks. This is a project I'm going to take with me when I go on vacation because it fits in a Q-snap, which I like. So it's easily portable. And it's got threads that come along with it, so it's like easily portable. So that guy lives in there. So that was my first Mania start. My second Mania start was, was Tapestry by Ink Circles, which a lot of people have seen, a lot of people have finished. I think it's beautiful. I'm also doing this in the Called For Gentle Arts. They're just beautiful. I love Gentle Arts. That's my favorite hand-dyed. It's my favorite hand-dyed floss. Over-dyed, whatever you call it. Alright, I'm making the cardinal mistake of not marking the top, but I think this is on the top. Hold on. Okay. I'm doing this on just, I think it was a cream linen. God, I'm so unprepared. Ugh. And I got that little inner mandala done. I love it. I think it's so pretty. I love the colors. I love the teals. I love the maroon. I'm going to love the greens. And it's just going to get prettier the bigger it gets. I really love Ink Circles. She's one of my favorite designers. I've got another one coming up here that I've worked on. It actually goes by, like, this goes pretty fast. Like, it's not super long. Needle Minder, the shell, Delicious Threads. Okay. I'm trying to do what Trisha told us to do and not constantly fold these all the same way to give those seams a break. Again, most of my projects all live in my So Much to Love bags. This was a fabric of the month. I'm not sure which month this was. Maybe April, possibly. But I feel like it kind of looks like the pattern a little bit, which is why I chose that bag. Okay. Then my third start for Mania was Queen Anne's Lace by Nora Corbett. It's from Just Cross Stitch, April 2016. That's what she looks like when she's done. So I did, this is my first, like, pixie Nora Corbett, like, fairy thing. I love her. She's being done on Grace by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. It's kind of like a, what's the word? Sorry, I got hair in my mouth. Ugh. It's like a amber color with like hints of peach, or hints of pink and hints of like chartreuse green. So I got a headless fairy, or bodiless fairy, I should say. I got her bottom half done. This is another one that I believe I'm going to bring with me on vacation, and I'm going to work up on her, start her corset, and then keep on going from there. That needle minder is from Nifty Needle Nannies. It's Captain Hook in the shadow with Tinkerbell. Figured green fairy. Looks appropriate. But that's what we're doing there. This has several colors of beads, 2 colors of, what's it called? 2 colors of Karen Waterloo's. I'm going to pause for. Okay, back. False alarm. It was just a shredded poop bag. Again, plastic bags. They will shred anything, and they will do it fast. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Whatever. Anyhow, my Queen Anne's fairy, Queen Anne's Lace, she lives in another So Much to Love bag. This was a custom one that drew, what's her name? Judy. Judy? I think it's Judy. This is a custom one that she made for me. Unfortunately, she doesn't, she's not going to be using this type of fabric anymore from this company, but I love it. It's dark. It's morbid. I think we've seen this bag a couple times. I know Tracy P has one, but I love it. Super excited. So those are my 3 Mania starts. Why did I bring this in here? That's unnecessary. So 3 Mania starts, and then let's talk about what I've worked on since Mania. Okay, so I worked on the Nutcracker, And then I pulled out Angel Love. I'm not going to show what she looks like. We all know what she looks like. She's beautiful. So this is on a 28 count Legacy from Picture This Plus. So I got some gold. The gold was challenging, guys. Okay, so initially I was like, I'll use Petite Treasure Braid. Like, it's amazing. I love it. It's great stuff to work with. But then as I was stitching it, so this has a Krennic number 8 braid. And then I was stitching with Petite Treasure Braid, and the Petite Treasure Braid just looked like really puny next to it. So I just got gold in the Krennic braid. Krennic. I'm going to call it Krennic. The Krennic bugs me. And then I worked my way over to the outside edge and started working on some blue. There's like 3 shades of blue there. So, and then I was like, oh, that's enough. We're going to put this down for a second. So that went away. And then I picked up Bee's Knees. Well, then I picked up the Nutcracker, I think. Maybe. I think I picked up the Nutcracker next, but I didn't post anything once I finished that because my sister, I didn't want her to see on Instagram. So I didn't post pictures of that one. But, so then I did that, and then I picked up Bee's Knees. Again, So Much to Love. Kind of a So Much to Love snob. That's all I want my projects to be in. Bee's Knees. Okay. It's this one. Again, it's my ink circles. It's another one of her mandalas. There's bees in the middle. There's bees on the side. I love, this is in, I'm doing this in the Called For Valdani floss. I believe it is Valdani Orchids, and it's a silk. My LNS, one of my LNSs ordered it for me because she didn't, like, I couldn't find it anywhere, but she was able to order it. And I love the colors. It's like gold and like a light pink and like a dark pink and almost shades of brown, and it's beautiful. I love it. And so I am about halfway done with the middle section. It actually stitches up really, really quick. The hardest thing I have figuring out is like when you stitch one stitch at a time, like where to go to next, because I'm not great about that. But I just have to, I can start the middle section and then kind of do the border. So this one is, I feel like I made good progress. I was happy with that. And that was really, I started working on this last weekend, I think. Yeah, last weekend. And basically I did from like this, but this was already done. So I did, and part of this was done, so I did the rest of this flower, I did this middle, and I did this flower over here. But I love it. It looks really good on camera, if I do say so myself. And this is just on an antique white Lugano, because I feel like sometimes with things like this that are symmetrical, where everything's just repeated on one side to another, I want the Lugano because I want all the stitch. I don't want any variation in like the size of the stitches or like the width of the stitches. I want them to all look the same. And then my needle minder is from Nifty Needle Nannies, and it is little honeybee on a hive. Super cute. And there's a little crown on the top of the honeybee. I'll show you if you want to see it closer. Real cute. So that's pretty much what I've been working on. Yesterday after I finished this little chunk, I put this down for a second. I was like, you know what, that's good. I'm going to give it a break. So I put that down for a second. And then I put my Haid back on my scroll rod, or back on my frame. So I put on Bella Bonaventure, which in my last video I showed a picture of what that looks like. She's real pretty. She's one of the Jasmine Beckett Griffiths. She's dark. I like that. So that's, I guess, oh my gosh. I feel like in like 8 weeks, like I should have a much more stuff done. Like probably, that's what, I did okay. I did enough, right? I was out of town. I didn't stitch it all when I was in the woods in Wisconsin. Even though I wasn't really in the woods. I was in like farm fields that they had converted to campgrounds. Yeah, alright. Anyhow, so that's what I've done so far. So let's talk about some haul. Oh, before we talk about haul, I'm going to talk about a couple things that I'm obsessed with lately. Okay, I know Jessie Marie did something like this in her video, but I feel like there's important things that you guys need to know about. Number one, so I'm starting like a health kick, whatever, like I gotta get this train moving. So there's a new Pilates class or a new Pilates studio near my house that I signed up for. And they do like reformer Pilates, and they use the mat, and they use the bar, and they use TRX bands, and they use like all the equipment, and I'm obsessed. I've gone 3 times. Today was my 3rd class. That's why I'm up so early. I got up and went to Pilates class at 8 in the morning on a Sunday. Like, I don't get up that early on Sundays. It's crazy. But I love it. I'm really into it. I'm feeling really good about myself. And even though my family doesn't think I'm going to keep up with it, I'm going to keep up with it. At least for 3 months, because I paid for 3 months for 8 classes. So I'm going to at least 24 classes. Number 1. Number 2. Can we talk about The Handmaid's Tale? Like, is everybody watching it? I have 2 episodes left. I binge watched it last weekend. I kind of don't want to finish my last 2 episodes because I'm kind of nervous about what's going to happen. I read the book first. I finished the book. And then, because I'm a book before movie and TV person, that's why I still haven't watched Big Little Lies yet. But, it's good. I hope it wins all the Emmys. Well, that or The Crown, because I also was obsessed with The Crown. Because, you know, my love for all things England. Which, you guys, there's a lot of Princess Diana specials coming up, at least here in the States. I'm sure there's a million coming up in the UK and Britain, since this is the 20th anniversary of her passing. But I'm really excited about it. Like, there's one on tomorrow on HBO, and I think it's also on some ITV or something in Britain, and where it's William and Harry talking about how she was his mother and like how much they miss her. So basically I'll just be crying all night tomorrow. It's no big deal. It's fine. But yeah, so I'm excited for all those to come up too. All right, let's talk. I guess that's my main obsessions. Yeah, Handmaid's Tale, which, you guys, where that could happen, there's potential. It makes me nervous. Handmaid's Tale, Pilates, still obsessed with my water bottles and everything else in my life, and stitching, but okay. Haul. First thing, in addition to my... What is the dog? In addition to my bag of the month from So Much to Love, Karen. Her name is Karen. It's not Judy. Her name is Karen Torres, and she's awesome. Anyhow, in addition to the bag of the month, I also ordered 2 separate bags because I have a problem, and I can't stop, and I want all the ones that are cute. So I got this one, which is Beauty and the Beast, the stained glass print. It's got the castle with like the sunshine and then the storm. So it's got like the 2 sides of the castle and the grounds. It's got Belle and the prince dancing and all of the characters once they come to life. It's got the, the old lady approaching the prince and then turning into a beautiful, like, sorceress. And it's got the rose. I love it. The inside is just like a checked purple. But I love Beauty and the Beast. I loved the movie. I cried like 3 times during the movie, guys. Like, number 1, I was just watching it and I was so excited for it. And then once they sang like the Belle song in the beginning, I was just like, it's gonna be everything I thought it was. It's so beautiful. They did such a beautiful, and I just started sobbing by myself in a movie theater. And when I do that, I try really hard so that nobody who's sitting around me in the movie theater, like, 'cause I don't know, I'm super like sensitive or like emotional when it comes to movies and music. So it's really hard to make it seem like I'm not crying. So like I just let the tears like run down my face. Like I don't want to like sniffle or like wipe them away because I don't want people being like, who's this freak chick here by herself in the movie crying at Beauty and the Beast? Like we're 5 minutes in. Anyhow, it was still a really good movie. And then I also got the Hamilton bag. So this is the bigger size. This is the Much to Love size. She only had one of these left, and I saw Hamilton this past year, and it changed my life. I loved it. It was life-changing. That's anything that I love, I just call it life-changing. And I cried during that, too. Just once, though. That only got one cry on the Lisa cry scale, but it was still really good. And it was at the end. Because, you guys, like, who's going to tell my story? Is this my story? Is this, for those of you who've seen Hamilton, like, is this what's telling my story? Or, like, how am I going to live to, like, tell my story? If you haven't seen it, I mean, I know it's impossible to get tickets to, but I would highly recommend trying to get tickets as much as you can, because it's great. Anyhow, and I got the bag for it. And it's just like a paisley print on the inside, but that is where I think I'm going to buy a material pack for a Haid pattern that I purchased. And that's where she's going to live when I get her. And I'll tell you more about that when I get her. I got the pattern, but I don't know. I don't feel like putting pictures in today's. Sorry. Okay. On the subject of bags, I also got some scroll rod bags and covers from Jan's Stitchin Necessities. She has a group on Facebook. I'm going to link it below. I'll also link So Much to Love below, and we all know Nifty Needle Nannies, right? I don't need to do that one. Anyhow, so I asked her. She makes bags that are bigger, that have handles. I didn't need a handle. I just wanted something that was kind of narrow and that had a big old long zipper that I could keep my scroll rods in, and that I could also keep like my stretcher bars in. I have Millennium frames. I have one frame with 2 size bars. I have the 30-inch bars, and I have the 20-inch bars. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, at some point I am going to order again. But I feel like I knew it was going to take a long time. I know it's going to take a long time. I'm going to order, and then I'm going to call them, because I feel like calling is your best option with that. And then I'll wait 2 years, and then I'll have more. I'll have the frames I need in 2 years. So, with that being said, she made me. This is the one for my 20-inch frame. Okay? I got to choose the fabric. I just went on fabric.com. She said you could choose the fabric, you can buy it yourself and send it to her. I just chose it. She ordered it, found it where the cheapest she could, and then she made it for me. Normally, like I said, they're normally a little bit wider, hers, and have a handle. I didn't need all that because I just want them in here so I can, because I don't travel with these. They're more so just for storage around my house, so that, again, not everything is just out in the open, taking out my dining room. So I think this is a Tula print. It's little snails. Same on the back. It's really well made. I like it. Part of the reason why I like this, and also part of the reason why I like So Much to Love so much, is I like the batting that they put in here. I like the little extra, just the extra bulk and the extra shape it gives it, so it's not quite so flabby. And I've got a big long zipper. My zipper on my 30-inch ones, which are downstairs, that bag is downstairs, it's got 2 zippers that can meet in the middle, which is nice. And so they hold my rods in there really, really nicely. Plenty of room to slip them in, plenty of room to slip the stretcher bars in, and then I also had her make scroll rod grime guards for me in the coordinating fabrics. So they just slip on the sides, and then it keeps my projects from getting dirty, which means I can start working on my chatelaine again, because that was getting dirty from me just from contact with like my shirt and stuff like that. But I leave the scroll rods in the bag too. So Jan's Stitchin Necessities, she was easy to work with, tons of communication. She always let me know kind of where in process we were in, kind of that she got my fabric, that it was on order, that she was stitching, that it was going to be shipped. But I'm really happy with how they came out, and I will be ordering from her again. Thanks, Jan. Okay, do you want to see a cool thing I did? So, for my needle minders, I got that IKEA board that a lot of us have to put that holds all the magnets. But I didn't want just a plain metal board. I wanted something a little exciting. So I just found some fairly neutral fabric at Hobby Lobby and used spray adhesive and just stuck it to the board, and then so the magnets are over it. Ooh, jeez. So it's like wood grain. So what my plan is eventually is to hang this in here, and then that's got all my needle minders. It's not tons, but there's enough. More than I need, right? Probably. And then the reason I brought this out is because I also got some more needle minders that I'm going to put onto it. So I ordered from Nifty Needle Nannies. I got 3 buttons when she was having a sale. I got Vogue Cover Mulan, Vogue Cover Rapunzel, and the Hocus Pocus sisters. Got those. I got a small agate slice and kind of like an octopus that's like bronze, but like it's got that, what's it called? That oxidation. I can't think of the correct word for it, but love those. My agate slices, because she puts this ball in the back that goes. I just put them on separately. Otherwise, they're super bulky. And then I got a peacock. 3 little otters, because have you guys seen otters lately? They're adorable. The way they swim, they just look so happy to just swim and dive in the water all day. I love them. So the 3 little otters, the flamingo, because of my flamingo obsession, which I love them. My fabric for my 30-inch rods that I got from Jan's for that bag, it's flamingo print, and it's beautiful. I got a calf skull. It's got the gold horns and then the flowers in it. Had my eye on this one for a while from a different seller, but then she sold out of them, so I was happy to have this back. And I got a little acrylic, like Mary Poppins, and then the bottom one, it's the Haunted Mansion, which is one of my favorite Disney attractions. Okay, we get these on, and then we will get into the final part of our program, which is just a couple of charts that I got from a visit to my LNS a couple months ago. Like a month ago, maybe. Oh no, I got fabric too. Let me show you the fabric first. You guys are going to hate this. I'm going to pause. I'm going to take all these out of their packaging so that you don't have to hear me. Okay, we're back. So everything is depackaged and ready to go for the last half of our programming. So first off, I got an order. I'm going to start with some stuff I ordered separately from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, and then I'll go with my 2 fabrics of the month I got from her. So you can see, I mean, I know we've all seen these from other people showing them, but just so you can kind of see what mine look like. So the first thing I got, these are all, for the most part, except for one, they're all fat quarters, they're all 32 count. One is a Joblin, all the rest are linens. So first thing I got, and I got this specifically for a project. I'm going to do the Mirabilia Sleeping Princess, where like the princess in the P1, and this is Melody. I'll just do it like that. So it's pinks and like oranges and purples. And it's super pretty. So that one I like a lot. And then I also got, just because I thought it was pretty and I just wanted to see what it looked like, I got a fat quarter of Jobelin Daybreak, which how it's showing up is how it looks. Purple, pink, blue, and a little bit of peach. Very pretty. I think initially I was thinking that this could potentially also be a good one for Sleeping Princess, but I think it's a little bit too dark. And then I also got a cut of Rhiannon to be my background for Garden Party when I decide to start that. And I'll show you the whole piece. So a little bit of brown, a little bit of blue, mostly purple. That's really true to color, how it's showing. This is the back, other side of it. A little bit more modeling and a little bit more blue on that side. But I think that'll look really nice with the oranges, and just, I think that'll look beautiful the more that I look at it. Okay, and then my fabrics of the month, Purple Pansies, which, did she change the name of this? She might, or it was something else. No, yeah, it's Purple Pansies. It was like Queen Bee. This one I love. Purple and really just purple and yellow, but oh, it's so pretty. This is my whole piece. There we go. And that's kind of what it looks like, a little bit more. I love that one. And then this one, I can't even handle. It's Seaside. I think this was the June fabric of the month. This might be my favorite fabric of the month she's done so far. Although I'm really looking forward to Moana when the Moana one comes, which hasn't, I checked my mail, it hasn't come yet. But this is my piece of Seaside. It's like blue and green with like a hint of brown. It's so pretty. I think there's a chance I might put a mermaid on this one. But like, do you ever get these and they're so pretty? You don't even, like, you want to save it. You're like, oh, I want to save it for something, like, I just want to save it for something that's, like, really fancy, special to stitch on it. But it's like, I've got a million things of fabric. Why even bother saving it? I should use it and enjoy it and be able to look at how beautiful it is. So, her fabric of the month lately is on point. I had my ones from Under the Sea Fabrics. I still have those. I'm excited for Love Child to get here. I think that's going to be beautiful. I just haven't gotten it yet. All right. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap this situation up with just a couple charts that I got. So I got the first 3 early Americans, Betsy Ross, John Hancock, Martha Washington. I'm not going to bother showing these to you guys. You've seen them a million times. Everybody and their mom is doing those. But I don't know. I've really been into, like, American history and, like, the Revolutionary War times lately and, like, settlement of our country. I don't know. Maybe it's because I saw Hamilton. That's so dumb. But I'm really into it. Usually those are not things that would really, like, what's the word? They wouldn't really speak to me as something I would want to do. But I want to do them. And I want to get the Let Freedom Ring one. Again, not since everybody and their mother's doing it, like I have to, right? FOMO. But I just think it's beautiful. And I'm really into that whole, Philadelphia, 1776, etc., etc. Okay. Then, a couple more charts. I got Swan Garden by Kathy Barrick, which Emily C. started this. I love it. They had the called for fabric at my LNS. I think it calls for dusk, maybe? But or maybe it's dawn. It's one of the two. I just felt like it was super dark. And so when the sale comes up on Tuesday for Picture This Plus, I'm going to order something a little bit of a lighter blue, not quite so dark. And it calls for MPI silks, but I priced out how much the MPI silks would cost and it'd be excessive. So I think at this juncture, I'm probably just going to do it with DMC. But that might change. We don't know, but it probably won't. So then I went Plum Street Sampler crazy I got 3 of them. So I got the Queen Sampler, Elizabeth I, The End Crowneth the Work, again, because I've already talked about my love for all things British. And then, get out of there. I also got Salem Hornbook. Because that's another area of history that I am obsessed with. Oh my god, I just had a thought. So I read this book a couple years ago, and I might have talked about this before, but about past lives and how it's possible that we are just a soul that continues to go through time until we get it right, so to speak. And I know this is going to sound super wacky, but one of the things, so in this book that I read about the psychiatrist who was treating a patient, she had like horrible, she would have weird things. Like she would know ridiculous amounts about certain periods in history and things like that, or have a certain interest in things for no reason, and it was like unexplainable. And they realized that when they hypnotized her, it was because like she had lived through that period of history in one of her past lives. You guys, what if I lived in Salem? I think I'm a pretty old soul. But here's another thing. This guy also said that like if you have fears or like kind of pain without reason, or like a kind of a fear or discomfort for that you have really no reason to, it could kind of equate to things that have happened to you in your past lives. I don't like things around my neck. Like I'm always pulling on shirts or sweatshirts. I don't like my scarves very tight. What if I was in Salem? You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. Just something to think about. Just I'm open to it. I also think this is turning into 20 random facts about me, but without any intention. I also think I'm a very perceptive person, and that if I use my energy enough, I have potential to kind of be a little bit, I don't want to use the term psychic, I just like to say perceptive. I have a feeling when things are going to happen. Some might have thought I would have been a witch. Just kidding. But no, I really do think I'm perceptive, and I think if I harness my powers, I can make things happen. Anyhow, I also got Garden of Erie. That was a segue. You guys have learned my deepest secrets that I only let my friends know those. And on the bottom it says, this work wrought by me, and then you can put your name. And basically it's like dead trees, a vulture, it's got bats, it's got like the fruit is kind of all like dying. It's got like Frankenstein, and the Bride of Frankenstein is Adam and Eve. It's got thunderclouds, it's got the snake, and then it's got a bird riding what I think is a dog, but it's a striped dog. Can you see that? It's kind of wacky. And then last one I got was a colonial garden. I saw this on Tracy P's channel, and because she's awesome and I want to be like her, I thought it was beautiful and decided to get it. I don't know if I'll do it on dark fabric. This is the pattern that it comes in 2 colorways. It comes in a dark colorway and a light colorway. I'm going to have to look at the flosses in 25 years when I decide to start this and decide if I want to do the dark colorway on a dark fabric or the light colorway on a light fabric, or if I want to do the dark colorway on light fabric. I really like the colors that are shown in the sample, and I think they would pop on something a little lighter. But yeah. So anyhow, that's about it for me. Upcoming plans. Really, did you seriously open the trash can? Come on. Sorry. Upcoming plans for me include going to Connecticut in 2 weeks, relaxing, going in the ocean and swimming and doing all things Connecticut-y. I'm going to go fishing with my dad, which I'm excited about. Hopefully he won't yell at me. I tend to pull up too early thinking I have a nibble, and it's just my bobbin hitting the bottom, or my hook hitting the bottom of the sea. So he gets frustrated because I lose a lot of bait that way. And then aside from that, just Stitchin. I get to go to Denver at the end of August for a course related to my residency that I'm in. I'm not going to be there very long, and most of my time will be spent inside a classroom building. Hopefully it'll have windows, but you know, you never know with those. But I am going to fly in on Friday morning and have most of the day on Friday to do a little sightseeing and kind of check out Denver. I've never been there, so if there's anything that's like a can't miss, like if you're here for like a couple hours, like this is what you have to see, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Other than that, we're going into the second. We hit the third quarter of the year. Almost a third through the third quarter. Goes fast. Every year of my life just goes faster and faster. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back in a few weeks when I am back from Connecticut. And until then, happy stitching, everybody!